I still remember the way the morning light used to dance across the marble floors of my mansion. Every single day I would wake up in that enormous bed, silk sheets cool against my skin, and for a moment I truly believed I was the luckiest woman alive. My name is Elena. For 15 years, this sprawling estate on the hills was my home. I designed every room myself. The rose garden where I planted flowers on our anniversary, the library where I kept all our love letters, the ballroom where we danced on New Year's Eve like no one was watching. I poured my heart, my inheritance, and my soul into that house, and I poured it all into him, my husband, Victor. He called me his queen. He would wrap his arms around me from behind while I cooked in our gourmet kitchen and whisper, "This is our forever. Elena, you and me against the world." I believed him. God, I believed every word. But what I didn't know that day, as I kissed him goodbye before his so-called business trip, was that my entire world was already crumbling beneath my feet. 2 weeks later, I came home early from visiting my mother. The mansion was strangely quiet. Too quiet. I walked through the grand foyer, my heels echoing, and that's when I heard it. Soft laughter coming from our bedroom. Our bedroom, I pushed the door open. There they were, Victor and her, a woman I had once called my friend, Sophia, tangled in the sheets I had chosen, wearing the perfume I used to wear. The moment they saw me, the laughter stopped. Victor's face went pale. Sophia just smirked, like she had won some twisted prize. "Elena, it's not what it looks like," he stammered, the oldest lie in the book. But it was exactly what it looked like. My husband of 15 years, the man I had supported through every failed business venture, the man I had loved with every piece of my heart, had been sleeping with my closest friend under my own roof. I stood there, shattered, as the life I knew cracked wide open. That was only the beginning of the nightmare. The next few weeks destroyed me in ways I never thought possible. Victor didn't just cheat. He had been planning. While I was busy managing our home and supporting his dreams, he and Sophia had been quietly moving assets. The mansion, the one my father left me, had been transferred into a company Victor secretly controlled. Legal papers I had signed without reading properly because I trusted him. I lost everything. They forced me out with lawyers and threats. One rainy evening, I stood on the driveway watching movers carry out the furniture I had chosen, the paintings I had collected, even the grand piano where Victor used to play for me. Sophia stood on the balcony. My balcony, sipping champagne from my crystal glasses, watching me with cold satisfaction. Victor didn't even look me in the eye when he said, "You'll land on your feet, Elena. You always do." I had nothing, no home. Barely any money left after the legal battles. Friends who slowly disappeared because they didn't want to pick sides. I slept on my cousin's couch for months, crying myself to sleep, replaying every moment of our marriage, wondering how I had been so blind. The pain was unbearable. Some nights, I thought about driving my car straight off the cliff near their mansion. The betrayal cut so deep I could barely breathe. How could the man who once cried tears of joy at our wedding do this to me? How could the woman I had comforted through her own divorce stab me in the back like this? I was broken, completely destroyed. But something else was happening inside me too. In the middle of all that darkness, a quiet, burning fire started growing. At first it was just survival. Then it became something sharper, something colder. I started watching. I started learning. I hired a private investigator with the last of my savings. And what he uncovered, it changed everything. Victor and Sophia weren't just living in luxury. They were drowning in debt. Victor's new business ventures were failing spectacularly. They had taken massive loans against the mansion. They were fighting constantly behind those beautiful walls. The love affair that destroyed my life was already rotting. I could have walked away. Many women would have. But every time I closed my eyes, I saw Sophia standing on my balcony with that smug smile. I heard Victor's cold voice telling me I would land on my feet. No, they weren't getting away with it. It took me 2 years. 2 years of quiet planning, saving every penny, rebuilding my life from nothing. I started a small interior design business from my cousin's living room. I worked day and night until my hands bled and my eyes burned. And slowly I climbed back up. Then came the day I had been waiting for. The bank was finally auctioning off the mansion. Victor and Sophia had defaulted on everything. I walked into that auction wearing the same pearls Victor once gave me as an anniversary gift. I sat in the back row, calm and composed, while they desperately tried to bid. When the final call came, I stood up. 1.8 million, I said clearly. Their heads snapped toward me. The look on their faces, shock, horror, recognition, was something I will remember until the day I die. Sophia's champagne glass slipped from her hand and shattered on the marble floor. Victor looked like he had seen a ghost. I bought back my mansion. My father's mansion, the home they stole from me. But I didn't just take it back. I turned it into their worst nightmare. I renovated it completely. Every room that held painful memories was transformed. I opened it as an exclusive luxury retreat for women healing from betrayal. The same ballroom where I once danced with Victor now hosted healing circles and empowerment events. The master bedroom they desecrated became a beautiful suite for women starting over. And every single month, I made sure Victor and Sophia received an invitation to the grand events I hosted there. Of course they never came, but they saw the photos. They saw me smiling, thriving, surrounded by women who looked up to me. They saw their stolen paradise turned into a monument of my strength. Victor lost everything. Last I heard, he was living in a small apartment across town, working a regular job. Sophia left him when the money ran out. The perfect love story they destroyed my life for lasted less than 3 years. I stand on that same balcony now, looking out at the rose garden I replanted. The pain is still there sometimes, like an old scar that aches when it rains. But it no longer controls me. If you're watching this and you've been betrayed, if someone has taken everything from you and left you broken on the floor, hear me when I say this. They can take your house, they can take your money, they can even try to take your dignity, but they can never take your power to rise again, unless you let them. I lost my mansion, but in the end I didn't just get it back. I turned it into something more beautiful than they could ever imagine. And that is the sweetest revenge of all. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, the woman who loses everything is the woman who can build anything. Until next time, stay strong, queens.